What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Project Motor Racing. Now, as of today, there has been another update to the game. It dropped a little while back. It further improved handling across vehicle classes and other things. We're going to talk about that throughout the course of the video. I'm probably going to do it as a voiceover while I'm racing, and we'll also talk about the roadmap that they have. But today, I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to do an hour-long endurance race at Circus de Spa-Francorchamps. We're gonna have just 60 minutes straight into the race, no qualifying. Season is it summer, weather type average, weather deviation low, weather slot duration 1 hour, time progression ×1. And we're gonna be using the BMW M3 GTR from, oh God, what class is this in? The NGT class. Because the last time I tried this car out, she was a little rough. She was good, but she was a little rough. Now, she's improved. She feels great. And I'm very eager to give her a try into this game and see what's going on. So, as the race gets ready to start, we're going to skip through this. We're going to go to our vehicle setup, tire and chassis. We're going to do our rack rate and all of that jazz, our strength, boost this stuff, alignment boost. Load boost, EQ friction, engine drivetrain, drop the brake strength to 95, let's raise that to that just for funsies, and then we should be good to get into this. So like I said, we're going to talk about some of the update and some of the roadmap ahead. I'll as we're going through the race in a voiceover, and if I don't and I forget to do that, then I'm an idiot, and that's just how it is. And also, the AI difficulty is now at 60. I boosted it, so we're gonna see just how much of a challenge they provide and how things go over the course of this next hour. Look at that, somebody's already got the most wanted mod skin on the cart. That's actually kind of funny. I respect that. That's actually really funny that that loads in as a skin for the AI, and it's kind of fitting that they're in the front of the pack. So oh my God, AI still out here braking hard. All right, starting from the back of the pack, here we go. Now, another thing that is actually on the radar, it's on the roadmap. It's funny I say radar as well. But something else that is on the roadmap for the game is rolling starts. They are going to be adding rolling starts in future updates to races. So no more of these standing starts that are more than unrealistic for a lot of, if not all of, these car division races. Gotta be real careful with some of these cars here. AI is still a little wonky. It's a lot better than it was. You can actually race the AI now. I'm not gonna try to make any passes on them on these corners, just because I'm not good at navigating these corners personally. So the last thing I want is to try to navigate AI on corners as well. Get around this dude. Come on now. Making good time, good time. We're navigating traffic pretty well so far, getting through the grid. Actually, I kind of feel like you can actually battle the AI a little bit here. Although for level 60 AI, I was expecting a tiny bit more of a fight. That's all right. Now, I will say, this is still very much to my disappointment. I did try an online lobby race for the GTEs. It was GTEs here at Spa-Francorchamps. There was 30 people in the lobby. I was actually really excited. I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be a fun race. We're gonna have some racing action. It'll be better than most of my lobby experiences. Okay. Personal lesson, kids, don't try to kick it into... Don't try to slam the throttle coming out of that corner in these cars. But these cars will really kick your ass for doing that, huh? Alright, well, lesson learned. But yeah, literally, I loaded into the lobby. I was really excited for it. I was like, oh boy, we're gonna have a real fun time. And then I started my first qualifying lap, got just up to the bus stop, disconnected, game crashed. Which is sad, because I actually felt like I had a pretty good time going around. I was in the BMW GTE. Because, you know, I'm a Beamer guy. If you can't tell from my current car choice. But lately I've been wanting to try out the Aston Martin a lot more. I will say, the car definitely feels a lot better to drive. Like, it's a lot more fun to drive. It's a lot more stable than when I last drove it in the game. Oh my god, I'm catching up to y'all so quickly. Track penalty. Oh no, okay. They've also improved the penalty system in the game as well, which is great. Because the track penalties were dumb.
Track limit violation detected.
Oh, fuck off. Literally right as I say something about the track limit penalties. But that's also on the roadmap. They're going to do a complete overhaul of the penalty system. They're going to do an overhaul and redesign of the career system, which I actually am very happy about, because I would love a more meaningful career progression system. Not that their idea isn't fun and isn't good as it currently stands, but it's not very meaningful in the long run. And there are still issues right now with some people having disconnects for whatever reason, or crashes after races in their career, especially if they're trying to watch like a replay. And so the game won't realize that they've completed the race already, and so they'll lose the money for the entry fee to their campaign. And then if it keeps happening, they have no money. Now, I do want somebody else in the comments to tell me down below if that kick that this car is doing is normal. Slamming it down out of first and second. Because I know that, like, the older cars are a bit touchy. Because they don't have ABS, they don't have traction control. Like these newer GT3s and LMPs do, you know? And the LMPs and hypercars only have traction control, they don't have ABS. But I just want to know if that's like if that's a normal thing, or if it's still something that needs to be tweaked in the game. Because they're also not done overhauling the handling of the vehicles and stuff in this game either. Like, they're still gonna be working on that. Alright, now that we've gotten settled into the race, we can talk about some of the patch notes and the roadmap that's coming for this game. So, let's start with the latest patch notes. Now, this is patch 1.5.0.2. This was released December 12th, 2025, and it's described as including a tire behavior overhaul for GT3 and GT4 classes, along with further handling refinement for other classes, improved stability for online components, and much more. The total list is for the UI and quality of life. We've got cleaner, clearer steering and force feedback calibration screens, smoother navigation and setups, career settings, Digidash, Mod Hub, and menus, improved minimap performance and various HUD fixes, multiple localization updates for Spanish, Czech, French, and German. In the force feedback menu, we have better behavior for Fanatec, Logitech, and Thrustmaster wheels, which I truthfully did feel. As I mentioned, I think later on in this video, I am on a Logitech G920, and I actually have so much more feedback from the car, from the track, and just overall the physics and how the car handles, and it feels so good. It no longer feels like it did on day one, where it felt just kind of floaty and like there was no resistance whatsoever in anything that I was doing. So I would still say that you want to go into the individual settings tweaking for each car. I think that adds just a nice extra layer of detail, in my personal opinion, for each vehicle. You don't have to, but I would recommend just giving it a try, see how it feels for you. Now, continuing on with the force feedback and controls, we've got improved rumble and overall force feedback feel, and one force feedback option renamed for clarity. I actually didn't look at these notes ahead of time, so I can't tell you which one it is, but just know that obviously it's now much clearer to understand things in the force feedback menu. For global improvements, they've refined handling across many classes, including full tire overhaul for the GT3 and GT4s, GT4, GTE, Porsche Cup, GT/NGT, which I can also tell in this game as well, because when I first drove the BMW M4 GTR, or M3 GTR, sorry, the tires, the car, it felt very slidey. It had a lot of kick to it on the acceleration, dropping down into second gears. You know, that was a big problem for a lot of cars in this game when it first came out, was when you're dropping down into the lower gears, the back end just kind of kicks out from behind you, and it was so weird. It didn't make sense as to why it was doing that, but now it feels great. And in the brief little moments of play that I got to have with the GTE BMW M4 before it crashed on me here at Spa on that ranked lobby, the GTE felt really good too. I actually would love to do some races in the GTE class and all that. It's a lot of fun. I say it again later in this video, but truthfully, the cars feel so much more fun to drive now, even the more modern ones. Initially on launch, the older cars, they felt great. They were a lot of fun to drive, but a lot of the modern cars suffered from just what felt like a lack of authentic control and authentic feel, and now they've just improved so much, and it feels really, really good. Now, I know for a fact that they're still going to be improving overall handling physics and tweaking them just a little bit more as time goes on, based on probably player feedback and all that stuff, but I think they're in a really, really good spot. Also mentioned here, the auto shift downshifts are smoother and avoid unintentional gear stall moments. Very apparent. I can very much tell that that's not an issue anymore. And steering angle limits adjusted to prevent tires clipping the bodywork. I actually haven't noticed anything like that, and I don't know if that's something that was actually physically affecting the handling of the car itself, or if it was just something that was noticed perhaps in like replays or spectator modes, but it's good to know. All right, moving on, we have vehicle-specific updates that includes the Mazda MX-5 Cup, fixed liveries, visual torque and inertia, Porsche Carrera Cup, better wiper vibration, Audi R8 LMP 900 reduced cockpit shake, the Sauber C9 gauge and display fixes, the Acura ARX-06/Alpine A424 camera and content cleanup, multiple GT3 GT4 cars handling refinements, BMW M4 GT4 fixed rear brake disc wobble, and the Valkyrie updated engine sound mix, the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Now, I did watch a video from another sim racer yesterday on YouTube. I believe he did race the Aston Martin Valkyrie. It didn't sound like he was very happy with the car and where it was at still. I can't really speak for myself. I might do a comparison between LMU and Project Motor Racing at some point. If that's a video you guys want to see, let me know in the comments below. I'll do it for funsies just to see where the differences are in between the handling and the sound and all that jazz. But hypercars aren't really my forte right now. I'm very cautious with hypercars still because I'm still inexperienced when it comes to sim racing. It's why I won't touch them in LMU right now. I'm sort of easing into the LMP 3 and 2 class, but I'm still primarily racing the GT3s. Anyways, moving on to graphic and visual improvements: brighter, clearer cockpit lighting and exposure, better color grading and tone mapping, fixed overbright car reflections in pre-race and replay cameras, independent windscreen cleaning, pit stops now clean both car and replay views. Interesting, that's pretty cool. Updated trackside trees with improved textures and color variety, and lots of fixes to floating objects, LODs, lighting, shading, and environment detail across many tracks. Now, for track updates across Nürburgring, Spa, Zolder, Motorsport, Sao Paulo, Brianza, Lime Rock, Derby National, Spielberg, and more, we have crowd placement and optimization, collision fixes, lighting and shadows, grass color matching, replay cameras, and cleaner geometry and better performance. For online and systems, there's faster leaderboard and stat loading, improved stability and reduced log spam on the master server, fixes for competitive lobby exit bugs, and resolved an issue that could freeze the game at the end of a race. I want to say that it feels like the online has improved, but based on the one lobby that I tried to get into earlier this afternoon, I truthfully can't vouch for it right now. The sad part is I think the lobbies for multiplayer are still a little broken, and when it comes to having a sim racing game like this, having broken multiplayer is still not great. I'm also not the only person experiencing this, as if you aren't aware, I am part of the Giants Partner Program, so I did get early access to this game before it launched. Myself and a bunch of other folks were, we're contributing as much as we can to feedback to the devs on things that we feel like could improve, as well as things we're hearing from our community who may be playing the game as well. And I've noticed that a lot of other folks in the Giants software Discord server, we're still struggling a little bit with the multiplayer servers, which is a big bummer, and it's still not approvable. It does not have my stamp of approval, but like I've said so many times, I'm going to remain annoyingly optimistic about it, and I'm going to hope that it gets into a better place as time goes on. I still want to give it a few months. I truly want to see where this game ends up in a couple months. I think the team can pull something off here. Now, moving on to the last little bit of these patch notes, we have gameplay and AI improvements. That default vehicle setups now auto-load when present and appear in setup list. Active setup auto-saves across sessions. Debug keys added for moving between AI opponents for modding purposes. And adjustments made to prevent shortcut/advantages at Derby National. Didn't know about that. That's kind of interesting to know. But just a couple more tweaks there. I'm sure... I'm very confident, and I think it's mentioned in the roadmap that we're going to talk about here in a second too, that the AI is still being tweaked. It's still being worked on. It is not finalized yet. As of right now, as you guys can see, it's actually not bad. It's really not in a bad place at all. There's still, I think it varies across certain classes. And for some reason, the AI really likes to ride their brakes. Like if you notice here, like that Beamer in that little section in Spa, you don't have to brake there. You can just lift off the accelerator, glide through the corner, and then get back on it. But there's something about the AI right now that they love to brake hard, and I don't know what it is. It's kind of funny, but it's also really annoying if you're at the back of the pack. And then finally, for the miscellaneous, it just added safety measures to prevent certain rare crashes. So that is all of the patch notes for this latest patch. I'm sure within the next week or two, we'll probably hear about what's coming for another patch. I'm sure within the next 2 weeks, we will receive another patch. I know the team is hard at work with, sadly, what little team is left after the layoffs. That does really suck. And again, my heart personally does go out to all of the devs and their families who were affected by the layoffs. I genuinely feel that a lot of the devs didn't really have much choice in accepting how they had to release the game. I don't think it was intentionally released in this state, but I think that perhaps the publisher or the higher up was pushing for a deadline and probably ignored the fact that there were still things that needed to be fixed in the game. And as I mentioned in my previous video that I made on Project Motor Racing, the truth about Project Motor Racing and all that jazz, I'd mentioned that I think it would have been a really good idea to release this game in early access to all of the partner program people first. Let us, talk you guys through the issues we're experiencing and the feedback that we feel needs to be added to the game. And then as you're nearing the release date and things have been tweaked and fixed, then open it up maybe to early access to a more public player base, or like a beta or something, to finalize any minor tweaks. Because at that point, if we, because I have no problem, if you put me in a partner program and you give me early access to a game that you're working on, I have no problem sitting there playing your game if it has issues, because I know I'm early access to this game. I would love to be helpful in the development of the game to make it good for you on release day. I have no problem with that whatsoever. What I do have a problem is the way that it was handled. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because we're not here for that. We're here for patch notes and roadmap information. But if you guys want to check that out, I will do my best to remember to link it down below in the description. And if I don't, somebody please in the comments yell at me to put it in the description to link it. Okay, now we can focus on the roadmap and what's to come. So for a brief summary before we get into it, it's saying that over the next weeks and months, you can expect a lot of the following things that we're going to go into. Their main focus remains on steady, consistent progress. They'll continue to release updates that improve overall stability, performance, vehicle dynamics, visual, and online reliability. They're also actively working on new features that the community and a lot of us in the partner program have been requesting often for things we'd like to see inside the game. So with that being said, let's get going into their first section of ongoing improvements. So they have continued handling refinements across all vehicle classes, which is great because I still think there's a little room for progress for some of these, but honestly, I think a lot of the cars are in a really good place right now. I'm not sure if the accelerating out of a corner in first and second gear, the immediate spin like I had a couple times with this BMW, is something that still needs to be tweaked out, or if that's just genuinely something that can happen in cars. Somebody let me know. I'd love to actually know about that and how real race cars handle. But I know it's an issue that happens in LMU sometimes. If you slam the accelerator out of a corner, you can spin easy. There's going to be continued UI and UX improvements throughout the games. There's going to be a complete overhaul of the penalty system. I do mention this, I think, at least twice in this video as well. But that's really good to see because some of the penalties are still a little stupid, but they're not as dumb as they were on release day, because I think I go off course a couple times here, and I think I only get hit with a penalty twice out of those several times. So it's getting there. It's looking better. There's going to be continued upgrades to online stability and functionality, which I still think is desperately needed due to what happened to me on the ranked GTE race that I was really looking forward to. It's fine. There's going to be performance and engine optimization, audio improvements, visual upgrades to vehicles and environments, and haptics updates, pit lane and pit stop improvements, and AI opponent optimization. So as I mentioned earlier, they're still going to be optimizing the AI. I think right now the AI is in a good enough place where they can start to focus on some of the other things that may need to be prioritized. But as long as they come back to the AI and keep tweaking them a little more to be a little more competitive and maybe like, make mistakes or actually fight each other for position, I would love to see that. I'd absolutely love to see that get included in the game down the road. Now, the visual upgrade to vehicle and environments is actually really exciting because I think that basically means there's going to be some type of graphical overhaul to the game to make it even more visually appealing. I know to a lot of people, they said that the visuals in this game are very lacking. They're not exciting and all that. And, to a degree, I have to agree with them. I still think it's not bad. It's very colorful right now. Like looking at the video of me currently playing, like it feels very colorful. And it feels a little more vibrant than LMU. I actually find LMU's graphics a little flat and lifeless. It's still a great game overall. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on Le Mans Ultimate. I love Le Mans Ultimate, but I do find the graphics in the game just a little bland, and I would love to see some more added to them. Like, I would love Forza Motorsport level graphics. Say what you want about Forza Motorsport and how it released. Visually, it's a beautiful game. It looks great. And I would love to see other games like LMU and this like get up to that level or at least close to it. Now, new features in development. This is something that's super exciting. The radar system. Why did this game release without a radar? I don't know. And I actually found out recently that Race Room didn't have a radar either. And Race Room just recently got a radar added to their game, which is crazy. But like, as somebody who never used to use radars in racing games, and now I use it all the time, it is probably the most useful thing in the world because it helps clean racing. It makes everything so much easier. It makes it so I don't turn into people, and I can gauge where other people are going to. It is such a necessity. And I know it's not a real thing in real life racing, but in real life racing, I can look left and right. I can actually physically gauge the distance between me and another car. Whereas in a video game on a screen, it's a lot harder to gauge that. So I'm glad that they're finally adding in a radar system. They're also going to be adding in spotter support, which is going to be awesome because that's going to add another level of immersion to the game. Having a voice in your ear being like, car on your left, hold your line, you're clear, stuff like that. Like, that's going to be so great. And then also having somebody who's like, wreck up ahead, yellow flag, watch out. Yeah, that's going to be great. There's going to be rolling starts, which thank God, because I don't understand the logic for standing starts for these cars. It doesn't make sense. These cars don't work on a standing start. But that's great. I'm really, really excited to see that coming. We're going to have VR support for PC. Doesn't impact me because I'm not a VR guy. It makes me sick. But for those who love VR racing, that's really exciting. Should it have been a priority on day one? I don't know. That's always debatable. I've seen a lot of games drop without VR support day one, but it's still something that a lot of games do get down the line. So, like, that's good. There's going to be new online modes, which is going to be awesome too, because I would love to see more variety come to this game for online. I'd love to have more things to do. Like, I'm telling you, I'm very excited to get into the online portion of this game. I want to get into it so badly. I just really haven't had a lot of opportunities, nor is there a giant online community right now for it. And I'm hoping that changes down the line. There's going to be native triple screen support, front end and menu overhaul, and finally a career mode restructuring and expansion. That is also incredibly exciting. We loved the concept of the career mode. It is a different career mode from a lot of other racing career modes. It is very reminiscent of Project Cars 2. However, it doesn't have a lot of payoff. I would love to see the ability to like decorate the garage with the trophies that you win from each of the individual championships. I would love to see some form of like congratulations and celebration when you win races and all that jazz. You know, like how in Forza you hop up on a podium with the cars lined up in the front, like some type of grandstanding, if you will. I don't even know if that's the right term, but like some form of celebration and all that to the career. And I'm sure there's other ideas that other people have come up with too. I would love to see the ability to design your own team livery. I think that's actually a super important aspect for a career mode like the one that we have implemented here in Project Motor Racing, where you can design a livery for your team. You can have basic preset designs that you can just mix and match the colors for, maybe arrange some sponsorship decals across the car. Or if there's like an advanced livery editor mode too, where you can actually go in and individually customize like shapes and preset patterns and stuff like that. That'd be really cool to see too. But I do think that there definitely needs to be a little bit more of an expansion on that as well. And then I would also love to see exclusive events that can get unlocked based on progress and championships that you compete in. And like, if you start placing well in those championships and performing well, you unlock an exclusive event that maybe gives you like an exclusive helmet or an exclusive suit or something to put either in display in single player or multiplayer. You know, stuff like that would be really cool. Overall, I'm excited for the future for this game. Like I said, I'm annoyingly optimistic. I will beat you over the head with that phrase for this game. I do think there's potential. I really do. I have faith in the devs to deliver, and I'm hoping folks will be willing to give it another chance. But I'm excited for the future of Project Motor Racing.
Halfway point.
Okay, hopefully I've given future Jared enough time to talk. But now it's back to race time and other stuff to talk about. So hi, if it's been a while since we've last chatted on the channel, welcome back. Now, I do want to say, guys, these cars, this game, it's really fun to drive. I know it is not perfect like everybody wanted, and I know it had that rocky release, and I know we're still all decently upset about it, but I gotta tell y'all, chat, right now, a lot of the cars that I've been in since this game came out, and with these updates, these are real fun to drive. I'm having a blast in this car. Even the AI is putting up a little more of a fight, and that's just at 60% difficulty. So I can't imagine how much more challenging it probably is bumping it up to like 80 to 100, you know? And like, I kind of want to.
The car in second isn't catching you. Stay consistent and keep the lead.
I think there's there's still so much potential in this game. Like, it's there. I can feel it. Because I'm having a blast right now, just driving this around. And I'm on a Logitech G920. The force feedback feels like it's improved a lot too. There's actually a lot of response from the car. Like, I can feel the car and what it's doing. Like, I'm getting probably, I feel like, about the same kind of force feedback as I would from LMU. Woo. See, I could feel when the car was starting to kick out on me a little bit there, and I was able to catch it before it happened. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, this is a lot of fun to drive. There's so much potential here, and I wish the multiplayer wasn't so unreliable right now, because I'd love to be doing this against other people. Like, I truly want a day where I can spend just like a whole afternoon in ranked lobbies, racing people, and really getting a true feel for what it's like to experience this game online. You know? Now, I will say, I believe it's possible, and I could be wrong, and I may have already mentioned it in the track, the roadmap, But I believe the devs are going to be evaluating the fact that like you register for a race and then you just sit in a lobby waiting for the race to start for like God knows how long, which is great because that definitely needs to be fixed. So maybe they'll create like
You're still leading and fast.
practice sessions like LMU has. Because I think that's great too. Like that you could just hop into a practice session in LMU. I will say though, I would like to see them change one thing. I would like to see them change it so that you don't have to sit in your menu the entire time. And if you back out, then you're unregistered. It should be like you register, and then you're good, and you can navigate menus if you want, and kind of like putz around and kill time until your race starts. That would be awesome. Also, after this lap, I'm gonna pause. I have to turn on the fan. It's getting real hot in this apartment. We're also gonna have to pit here sometime soon. I may just undercut. I may pit early. Now, how do I request a pit stop? Not like that. I also want to give myself time to fight back up through the ranks.
Limiter on, mate.
Oh my god, I just realized that the person in second place, his name is Razor.
He's closing in. Now's the time to push.
I just realized that. Okay. Now that's a pit stop if I've ever seen one.
Clear of the pit.
All right, we got fresh tires too. I finally figured out how to change the damn tires. Oh my god, that's so cool. I'm so mad that I didn't notice that earlier. I have to ask the devs in the Discord now if that was intentional, because that's incredibly clever. Gotta get these tires warmed up a little bit. also hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet. Chat, let me tell y'all, I've been having real frustrating work weeks, man. As some of you may know, Steph and I were off for about 5 days because we had to go to North Carolina to go to a funeral for her grandmother who passed. And then I got home Sunday afternoon and I relaxed a little bit, and then Monday I spent a lot of time recording. But then literally the next day I had to go back to work, and it's a 12-hour day at work, and it's brutal. And then tonight I have a 10-hour day. I have to be at work till 3 a.m. and I go in at 4:30. So like, I love being a tech, but man, dude, it's rough. Oh boy, do they work me to the frickin' core. I don't know why I hit the brakes. I could have just lifted. Yeah, I will say, chat, I think I'm convinced enough on this game that I want to do an entire endurance haul series for this game, which is going to be real interesting. Because there's a lot of, there's like 2 different LMDH class races. And like the first one is at Spa. And the hypercars are still a little wonky. But they're not as bad as they were day one. Like day one, they were pretty shite. I won't lie. But the handling for the hypercars has improved, and as I mentioned in the roadmap, they're going to continue improving handling for a lot of cars, and I'm very excited about that. Now the question is, are you guys going to start pitting? Moving into third. I don't know why I downshifted into second. Yeah, I will say, dude, it's gotten a lot easier to handle these cars. Like, I don't really have any issues or complaints right now. I think they've come a long way so far, and I think it's only going to get better.
You're reeling the leader in. Maintain that momentum.
Is Razor gonna hit the pits? Who knows? Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this series, at least watching me play through it. I really do want to know your thoughts down below in the comments on what you guys are thinking about this game, whether or not all these updates that are happening are slowly making you reconsider whether or not you might pick it up in the future. Or if you think that you're just never going to touch this game, and there's nothing that can bring you back to it. I will say, I think I could recommend people purchasing this game at a discount right now. Like, if it's heavily discounted, I would say if you're interested in it and you're willing to wait just a little longer for it to really start to shine, go ahead and grab it. But if you're still not sold and you really need to see more from it, don't bother. But there's definitely something worth grabbing here.
Good progress on that lead, mate. Keep pushing. Continue to close that gap.
And if there's other things that you want to see me do in the game too, let me know. Like if there's any races or car combos that you want to see me race in, let me know. If you want to see me attempt more multiplayer to kind of see if maybe the lobbies start to stabilize, let me know then. I've also, I joined a Facebook group for Project Motor Racing. And they're actually going to be doing like 2-hour endurance races monthly, or weekly starting in January. And it's a multi-class, so it's going to be LMDH, GT3s, and the 992s. And so hopefully that goes really well. I'd love to see that thrive, you know? I don't know why I didn't downshift. Because I'm talking. When I run my mouth, I get distracted.
You're closing in on the leader. Keep the pressure on and make your move.
She's so touchy. I guess the AI doesn't need to pit. It's just me. I guess I should have checked my fuel level before starting the race. That's on me. Now the question is, can I catch Razor before the race is over? I do feel good knowing that I can at least stay competitive against difficulty level 60 AI. I was kind of worried that this would be a shit show. Damn it.
Officials flagged a track limit violation.
Oh, fuck off. Well, unless Razor hits the pits. Ugh, I jinxed myself, dude. Yeah, like I said, they're going to be overhauling the penalty system. I ate too much curb. The hunger pangs. They're starting to get to me.
You're gaining on the leader. Keep up this pace and you'll be there in a few laps.
I see him. We might actually do this, chat.
Catching the leader. Keep up the pace and reel them in.
Oh, we got this. We got this, baby. Razor, I'll see you in Rockport, bitch. Now I just need to make a 2-second gap between me and him. So I don't get screwed by the penalty. Oh man, what a gap I've just built. So as this comes to a close, if you guys enjoyed this content, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your feedback down below in the comments what you guys think of Project Motor Racing and where it's at. If you guys are considering giving it a second chance, if you think it's dead in the water. Oh, we got one more lap. Shit. Hell yeah. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. And thank you so much for your continued support and for spending time with me here while I play this game. I truly, like, am so interested to know what people think about this and how things are going with it and all that jazz. Like I said, I'm annoyingly optimistic for this game. I really think that this game can make a comeback, but it's going to take a very long time to get there. And hopefully support for the game doesn't stop, like the studio doesn't close. But I'm curious to see, you know, like what other cars are we gonna get? What other tracks are we gonna get? What kind of events might happen in the game once things start to like slow down and stabilize? Because I know the devs aren't really gonna put a lot of work right now into like in-game events and stuff until they get the game actually fixed and where they want it to be. So, I'm just very interested to see where that's going to go and what's going to happen. And I hope you guys are too. And then, of course, I am now paying for LMU, so I can do championships and stuff. And I'm very excited for more LMU stuff, because I really do like Vermont Ultimate. I really feel like a punk bitch when I'm in those multiplayer lobbies. But, you know, all that aside, I have a lot of fun with it. I just wish I was a little better at it. And I know you guys are probably going to hit me with the, Jared, turn the line off. I will! I'm getting there. I've already started with Monza, so... And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 1-hour endurance race at Spa-Francorchamps.
Keep what you've done today. The crew really deserved it.
Oh, man. 24 laps total. That was fun. That was good. I like that. Let's save that replay. That might crash the game. I think it crashed the game. I knew it. I knew it! I spent all this time talking about it. Oh, no, it did it. Sick. Okay, we're good. We're saved. Whew. Oh, man. Yeah, that was great. Cool. All right, well, I love y'all. Thank you all so much for your support. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, week, whatever. Be safe, be good to each other. Happy holidays if you celebrate whatever. And I will see you guys in the next video, and hopefully some more Project Motor Racing, because I think I'm going to start doing an Endurance Haul series. So, see y'all later.